Hey guys, hope everyone is going well. Thought I'd get another live streaming for you guys. I know we did one this morning, but there's something I wanted to touch on today with you guys. So we'll wait a little bit for Facebook to do its thing. Hopefully we can get a few people jumping on. It's a little bit later in the afternoon. Some of you would have finished work or be knocking off soon. And what I want to talk about is why you're wasting your time going riding this Sunday. Okay, so we had our group call last night, which we run every week for our motorsport development program races. Okay, so we all catch up every Thursday. We all jump on a call and have a talk about training, what we're working towards, what we're doing. And one of the big things that came up, we were talking about planning and goal setting. Okay, and what came to mind here is how most racers are actually wasting their time when they go and ride. Okay, and what I mean by this is, with our programs, everything I talk about, always have a big emphasis on planning, having structure, having consistency there, because these are the things that allow you to be able to hit your goals, okay, which are very, very important. And although we work on that with training, okay, and making sure that the training's going well, we've got our structured training, we've got our structured nutrition, our structured flexibility, we've got goals that we're working to attain. We need to have exactly the same thing for our riding and racing, okay? And what that means is that when you're going riding, when you're going practicing, you need to have a goal, you need to have a structure of exactly what you're going to take. And this is one of the topics that came up last night with our group, which I thought would be awesome to share with you guys as well. So a little bit of insight onto what's going on inside our group. And one of the things we were talking about is having a plan for race day, okay? So one of the races that we're working with was working towards a particular goal. So we mapped out the goals, we did, okay, where do you want to be in the next 90 days? And one of those issues was speed. He needed to be able to improve his speed on the bike to be able to meet his goals next year for the next race season, which he was preparing for. Okay, which is cool, which is awesome. Now, one of the questions asked was, how do you plan or structure your riding time? And there was no structure there. Okay, and the reason that we need structure, that we need that planning for our riding, our racing, our practice, is because that's what's going to help us to be able to reach our goals. We can create that roadmap, we can create that path towards being able to move towards your goals. So this Sunday when you go riding, or Saturday, over the weekend, think about exactly what you're planning on doing. Okay, and most racers don't have an exact plan of what they're going to do out on the track. So they have goals to be fast, so they want to get top 10 in the state or top 5 in the nationals or wherever they want to be. They don't have a plan to be able to get there. So if you know that, okay, this season, one of the areas that's been holding you back has been cornering, entry speed. Okay, then you need to make sure that when you go and ride, every time you go and ride, you specifically work on entry speed. Okay, so just going there and chucking laps, going around in circles and having a good time is not going to help you with your corner speed, okay, or entry speed. So you need to isolate that specific area to be able to work on it. Same as if it's exit speed. If you have a problem with exit speed, then you need to be able to go to the track and put time aside to work specifically on exit speed. You can't just be working on everything or just be going around the track and hoping that it's going to get better, because you'll always only be as strong as your weakest link. Okay, so if entry speed is slowing you down, then that's the thing that's really holding you back. If exit speed's the thing that's slowing you down, that's the thing that's really holding you back. If it's jumps, if it's whoop sections, if it's long whooped out straights, okay? All these different things. If we're not isolating those specific areas out on the track on practice day, then we're never going to get better at them. What you'll find is you'll start to avoid all those areas that you're trying to get better with, and you won't actually get better, okay? Which means that you're not going to be able to perform as well. You're not going to get the results that you're after. You're not going to see that progress that you're after, especially over the off season when there's not much racing going on, not much to motivate you to get out there and get things done. So it's important, just as important as I always talk about with your training, having the structure with your training sessions, being able to have that mapped out, knowing exactly what you're doing. It's just as important to be able to do that on the weekend with your racing, with your riding, when you're going practicing, making sure that you plan out exactly what you're doing. So if you know that you go to the track, you've got 90 minutes or an hour and a half to go and ride, divide that up. So go, okay, the first 20 minutes I'm going to work on entry speed. I'm then going to have a 10-minute break. Then I'm going to work 20 minutes on exit speed. Then I'm going to have a 10-minute break. Then I'm going to spend another 20 minutes on jumps, okay, and jumping. So that way you can isolate all your weaknesses, all the areas that you're not so good at that you know need improvement, and be able to work on those weaknesses to make sure that they're not a weakness next season. And what we want to avoid is just rocking up, just being there, okay, and just going through the motions and not really having a plan of attack. Because if we don't have a plan, Number one, if you don't have goals, you're not going to have anything to move towards. And if you do have goals, but you don't have a plan of how to get there, then you're not going to be able to get there in the most efficient way possible. And that comes through planning. So knowing exactly what you're going to do when you rock up to the track, mapping out exactly what you're going to do, how long you're going to be there for, and it's going to help to keep you focused as well. So if you have other guys there that you're riding with, you're going out with friends there, you don't get caught up in just going there and making it a social event and spending more time talking and mucking around than you do actually getting the work done. When you have a map, you know exactly what you're doing. You can set your own pace. You're in charge of your own schedule, being able to move forward, being able to progress with your riding. Okay, so we need to treat it exactly the same as training. Let me know, guys, if you guys are finding this stuff useful so far. Give me a thumbs up or comment below. Let me know that you're on the live stream. So that's what we want to be able to focus on there, is being able to focus on making sure that we have that structure. Okay, and structure is so important. I know I talk about it all the time, but so many racers miss it. They don't have it in their training. They don't have it in their on the bike stuff. They don't have it with their nutrition. They don't have it with their strength training. And just today, I put up a post on our. Hey Peter, good to have you on the call, man. Just today, I put up a post on our private page that we have for our most. Sorry. There we go. Oh. Sorry, lost you guys for a minute. Had a message come through. So one of the things that I put up on the group page was asking for, what did you think were the biggest areas of improvement so far in the program? So some of the guys in our program have been going for 2 weeks. Some have been going for 6 weeks. Some have been going for 8 to 12 weeks, okay? We have guys at all various levels that have been working with us for different periods of time. And one of the things that was coming up consistently was the focus on schedule. So although all the information's wicked, all the strength training's wicked, all the flexibility work's wicked, the thing that was most beneficial that everyone was saying, just getting a bit of feedback from the program, was actually the mindset stuff and being able to be focused and be able to be driven, okay, which came down to goal setting and organization and creating a schedule, okay. That was the thing that they found most valuable. And the reason that they find that most valuable is because that's the thing that most racers miss. They don't have that schedule. They don't have those that schedule, that consistency with their training. So any other program that they've done wasn't going to get them the results. Even if they had the shittest program, you will still get some sort of result if you're consistent with it. Okay, but like on the other end of the spectrum, I can give you the best exercise, I can give you the best nutrition, tell you all the stuff you need to be doing. But if you're not actually doing it consistently, it's not really going to mean anything. Okay, it's not going to work. And that's why we have a huge emphasis on that. That's why everyone needs to have a huge emphasis on that. It sounds so simple. It almost sounds stupid, okay? Scheduling exactly what you're going to do. But what it does is structures out, enables you to map out a path, brick pave exactly where you want to go, and allows you to isolate areas of your training, areas of your riding that you want to improve. Let me know if you're finding this stuff useful, guys. Give me a thumbs up. If you're finding it useful, comment below. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're finding it useful so far. I know there's a couple of you on here. So scheduling consistency is so important. And the way we do that is being able to schedule out your days, schedule out your weeks of training on a week-by-week basis. Okay, so making sure that you map everything out. If you don't put your priorities in your calendar, someone else will put their priorities in your calendar, okay? So if you're waiting for perfect timing, if you're waiting for a little bit of free time, if you're waiting for a spare hour, okay? If you're waiting things for not to be as hectic at work, if you're waiting for things to get back to normal, okay? Then you'll be waiting until you're dead. Okay, you're never going to have the right amount of time unless you actually schedule it and make time and make it a priority. And that's what's going to help you to be able to get long-term sustainable results. And the other thing that comes with that, when we're having those long-term sustainable results, when we're actually progressing, we get motivated. We're more likely to stay with the stuff that we're actually doing. So when you go and train, right, and you're starting off with your nutrition and you're doing something completely different and you're doing it for the first couple of weeks and you've scheduled out your meal prep days, you've scheduled out all your meals, you know exactly what you're doing. You only have to go to the supermarket once. You don't have to worry about food for the whole week, and you start seeing all this progress, then that allows you to stick to it. Okay, because you're like, oh shit, I put the hard work in over the last 2 weeks. It's been easier than what I've been doing before because everything's organized. I've now got that schedule, got that routine. Everything's awesome. I feel awesome. I've got more energy. I'm getting leaner. I'm riding better on the bike. My training's going a shitload better. Then you're more likely to stick to it over the long term. And the reason that most people don't stick to their training, nutrition over the long term is, number one, they lose sight of their goals. And when they lose sight of their goals, they don't have the consistency with their training to be able to pull through. They don't have the routine. They don't have the habit, okay? Because with everyone's training, it's always going to go up and down. We're going to have peaks. We're going to have valleys. Everything's going to be going up and down the whole time. You're not always going to be motivated, which is why motivation's so shit. is because it's only short term. Okay, if you rely on motivation to get going. Okay, some people come to my clinics. So I run free clinics periodically. Okay, and people come to the clinics and they say, "Oh, that's really good. I'm really motivated. That's fired me up to go to the gym, and it's fired me up to start eating healthy." But that's only going to be short term. Okay, you don't need me to motivate you. You can go on YouTube and find tons of motivational videos that will get you pumped and jacked up for the meantime. Okay, but it's only going to be short lived. There's going to be times where it's going to get shit. That motivation's not going to last forever. The thing that allows you to push through that is being able to make sure that we have a schedule with your training, make sure that we've built a routine, we have a system of what we're doing on a week by week basis. So it's actually part of you. It's a ritual, it's a routine, it's a habit. We don't have to rely on motivation because motivation won't be there all the time. Okay, it will disappear, it will come and go. Motivation's only there when things are going good, but we actually get the results from our training when things are going shit. Okay, and when things go shit, most people jump off the bandwagon, they stop training, stop doing their nutrition, and then they have to try and motivate themselves again to come to a good period in their life to be able to get back on board with their training. Okay, and they spend most of their time just yo-yoing, going from solid training to not training to solid training to not training because they're just relying on motivation. They're just using those times in their lives where they feel fucking awesome to be able to fuel their training rather than actually having a habit which is sustainable. Okay, we want to be able to work on a training plan, on a nutrition plan, something that fits into your lifestyle, something that's that you can use for the rest of your life, not just use for a few weeks or not just use to get to a certain point and then go, oh shit, this is too hard, and not do it, okay? When you have that consistency, you have the consistent results. When we have that end goal, you know exactly what you're working towards, which means when you put the time in, you put the effort in, you get the results, you're much, much more likely to be able to stick to it. Because imagine if you were constantly improving. Every week you went to the gym. Every week that you put in with nutrition, everything was scheduled out. Life was easier. You had that routine, you had that habit, and you were seeing results as well. Then you'll be more likely to stick to it. Okay, most people make it harder for themselves to be able to stick to nutrition by limiting the foods, by weighing and measuring, by counting calories, by not eating the right stuff, by starving themselves, by doing stupid exercises that don't give them results, by putting all this time into training and not really seeing a benefit or seeing a benefit for the first couple of weeks because they haven't been doing anything, and they would probably get benefit from just walking around the block. And they get those benefits and then they stop seeing progress, so they stop training. What you need is a long-term sustainable model built with routine, built with habit, that's going to allow you to consistently get results for the rest of your life. Okay? And the way you do that is through structured training and structured programming, being able to make sure that everything is mapped out correctly for you to be able to move forward, okay? Because if we don't have everything move forward, we don't have that consistency, you're not going to be able to get the results. Okay, and that's what gets you there. We need to be able to push through those tough times. Okay, there are going to be tough times. Things are going to happen. You may end up in hospital. Maybe your partner ends up in hospital. Maybe you get injured. Maybe you get sick. Maybe you get extra hours at work. Maybe you're overloaded with work. Okay, but all these things are going to come up for everyone. Everyone has their own stuff that's going to hold them back. That's going to get in the way. Okay, and that's what we need to be able to work on, is being able to push through that stuff, being able to work around it, and having that habit, having that system, having that consistency there is what gets the long-term results, okay? We can't be yo-yoing in and out of training all the time, okay? We can't be training hard, then not training, okay? And you need to find out what's holding you back at the moment. Exactly what is holding you back right now, okay? Is that routine? Is it habit? Is it knowing what to do? Is it education and information, okay? Is it results? So many people that I speak to, races included, okay, which is obviously the people that we work with, put in the effort with their training, but they're not seeing the results because they don't have the right training program, okay? So you can't be consistent with a training program that's not working. I wouldn't keep training if I wasn't getting results. I wouldn't keep putting the effort in 4 or 5 times a week to train a couple of hours a day to eat the right stuff if I just went to training and I was exactly the same as I was last month. Okay, it's impossible to be able to be consistent with stuff when you're not seeing improvement, when you're not seeing in progress. People are built to grow. That's what they get satisfaction and happiness from growing and improving. The only way that you grow and improve is from being consistent and having that system and being able to see that you're progressing. So whether that means mapping your training, whether that means seeing how you feel, whether that means body weight, body fat percentage, how strong you are, having something to be able to track, to be able to make sure that you're working well, okay? To be able to make sure that you're progressing, to make sure that you're moving forward, to motivate yourself to keep going for the rest of your life, okay? So if you don't have a training model, you don't have a system, you don't have a habit or a routine that's consistently getting you results over the long term, okay, over the next 12 months, you haven't had a system that's getting you results over the last 12 months, then you need to be able to do something about it. You need to find what's holding you back. You need to fix it up so that you can have that long-term progress, okay? So I hope you guys have found this live stream useful. Got a few of you on here. Any questions about that, guys? Anything that I could... anything... Awesome, Andrew. Good to see you're getting some value. That's right. Motivation is only short term. Everyone says, oh, I need to get motivated to train. It's not that they need to get motivated to train. They need to find a why. Why the hell are you even training in the first place? What's going to encourage you to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning before work and go and train instead of sleeping in for another hour? What's going to encourage you to be able to get home from work after you've had a big 12-hour day of work, 14 hours, and go to the work and do some more hard work in the gym? What's going to motivate you to do that, okay? Motivation isn't going to get you there. Knowing why you're doing what you're doing is going to be able to help get you there, okay? If you know that, okay, I want to work on getting the top 10 in the nationals. Okay, I want to work on getting faster lap times. Okay, I want to be able to be fitter on the track so that I can do 10-minute motos next year because I couldn't do them this year. We need to find exactly what you're working towards. You need to find why you're doing stuff. When you find a strong enough answer with why, then you'll automatically pull yourself towards what you want, okay? We can draw that quickest path to where you want to go. And it's a lot easier, okay? Rather than trying to build a path but not really knowing where you're going. If you know why you're doing stuff, then you can motivate yourself, okay? And that's why the best racers in the world are able to be consistent with their training. The people that get results, the ones that are consistently rocking up, are the ones that know they are crystal clear on exactly why they are going to training. Okay, they're crystal clear on exactly why they're having the breakfast they're having. They're crystal clear on why they're getting up early, why they're going to bed late, why they're spending all their time training. They know exactly why they're doing it and it means something to them. Okay, we can't be just rocking up to training just for the sake of training. If you haven't done the work on yourself, you haven't done the personal development, you're not self-aware enough to know exactly what you're working towards, you need to write that shit down and you need to find out. You need to sit there until you find that out. Okay, and too many people skip over this. It's too hard. Okay, they'd rather go to the gym and just tick over and not get results and blame the gym or blame their genetics or anything else because they don't want to do the hard work. Sit down, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen and sit there for an hour until you have that paper full of exactly the reasons why you need to go and train. And if you can fill that paper up, you sit there long enough to be able to fill that up, then you're not going to have any problems going to the gym because you're going to be crystal clear on exactly why you're going there instead of having this brain fog of not really knowing where to go, not really knowing what you should be doing, not really knowing why you're doing it, okay? I wouldn't go and train if I didn't know why I was training. I wouldn't do these live streams if I didn't know why I was doing them, okay? It's because I want to be able to help you guys. I want to be able to provide as much value. It's because every day that I wake up, every day that I come and do these live streams, I produce content, put articles together, I have in mind that I want to change the motorsport industry. Something for me was when I was out in the sport, I didn't have any help, I didn't have any support. Fitness-wise, I didn't know who to go to. There was no experts that I knew of that were willing to be able to help, and that's my goal. So every time I put these together, I don't need to go, oh shit, I've got another live stream, I've got to spend half an hour on Facebook again putting a video together. I don't need to motivate myself. I don't need to get on YouTube and watch 10 motivational videos to get myself pumped up to spend 15, 20 minutes, half an hour speaking to you guys, because this is what I love to do and I know exactly why I'm doing it, okay? And that's why it's so easy for me to do. It's so easy for me to train, so easy for me to be able to work to nutrition, okay? There's going to be stuff that you guys might find easier that's a lot harder for me, okay? Because you have a why for that, a why for you doing it, okay? Most of you, when you go riding, you don't need motivation to go and ride, okay? You don't need to watch 10 motivational videos to get pumped up and go and ride this weekend because you love riding. You know why you're going riding, okay? Because you enjoy it. It brings you happiness. It brings you fulfillment, okay? You need to find those exact whys with your training. Know why exactly you're training, okay? Because most of you probably don't enjoy training, okay? Because your sport is racing. You may enjoy it a little bit, but probably not as much as you love going riding. So we need to find the whys, the exact whys of why you're going to training. Why should you get up early? Why should you eat the right stuff? Why should you knock back chocolate cake this weekend? Why should you not go to the party on the weekend and drink alcohol, okay? If you don't have a reason for not doing it, then you're going to do it, okay? And if you're only using motivation to get started, that's only going to get you going, okay? Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going, okay? Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. That's what you need to be able to work on over the long term. Building a habit, building a routine, having that consistency, knowing exactly where you're going, having an end goal that you want to achieve, having a path to be able to map out to be able to get there as quickly as possible. When we don't have any of those things, we don't have a path, we don't have a goal, we have no idea where we're going. We're just going around in circles. You'll rock up to the gym inconsistently. You'll get inconsistent results. You won't have structure. Then you'll say, oh, it's my genetics, or every time I go to the gym, it doesn't work, or oh, I've hit a plateau. But you haven't done anything to be able to change it. You haven't put in the work, you haven't put in the time, and I'm giving you exactly what you need to do to be able to make that happen, okay? So I've got to go, guys. I've actually got a call I've got to jump on, running a little bit late. Any questions before I go? Anything that I can help you with? Everyone got a value out of this? Give me a thumbs up or a like. Let me know if you've got a bit of value from today's call, today's live stream. Has it been helpful at all? Is there stuff in here that you're able to apply going into the weekend, going into next week, that's going to be able to help with your training and nutrition? Good to have you on the call, Christian, and thanks for your contribution as well, Andrew. I've got to go, guys. If you have any calls or anything else, can we eat fish? Yes, you can have fish as part of protein. Awesome. Go for it, Christian. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to post them up, okay? I will get back to, come back to the live stream later on and have a look and see if there's any questions that I can help answer. All the best, guys. Have a great weekend. And remember, train hard, race harder. See you guys.